Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft. I've created a new test world to build things in. I've been meaning to get around to one that's got like defined testing blocks to build things in for a while. I've never gotten around to doing one properly, so I'm going to try and do it this time. Anyway, I'm here because I've designed something. It's a cow cooker. It looks maybe a bit of a mess here, but if I go and show you the core part of the mechanism, with all the stuff stripped off, I really went out of my way to compact this thing. I don't need to compact it, because most of it's going to be under the ground. So I have all the space I want, but I wanted to compact it for the challenge, and I did. I'm really pleased with this thing, considering how much it does. So it's all controlled with one button. One button dispenses the water. And you may be wondering, what are all those pieces around there doing, things firing off? What it's doing is when the water goes away, well, three things happen in quick succession. The water is removed. That's instantaneous because you press the button. The water being removed, I'm gonna do the redstone ramble here. The water being removed sets off this observer, which toggles this flip-flop, pushing this redstone block down to here, which triggers this, and that means this piston pushes out this glass block here, which doesn't have to be glass, pushes out here, makes sure any struggling baby cows get pushed down there. So we know that all the baby cows are now in the lower chamber. A moment after that pushes, the signal comes through here and sets off this observer, which powers this block, this redstone, this which dispenses the lava, and then this signal dies, which sets off the observer again, takes the lava away. The lava is at a height that is just above the baby cows. They're standing on a carpet, so they're underneath it, but adults will be set on fire and cooked. And that all happens in this what is it? 4 by 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we don't count the floor and the button, otherwise it's 7. This thing's like 60% block usage. It's really quite good. But that's not all, because as you can see there are some pieces down here as well. Now, there's hoppers here. The hoppers lead into this drop. This piece I think took me the longest to get compacted, because it kept sticking out the side. And I mean it still does to an extent, because in the main build I've got a water column on top of here, which means there's got to be a block here as a wall. But so that goes in. Actually the change here was that originally, how was it? There was a difference here, this was pointing downwards or something, the signal came in underneath it, and I had to move this to here, and then that block and that redstone. These are like the last pieces I put on, moving this redstone up here, and that's because of the compacting of this. So this reads out into here. When there are items in here, it goes through here, setting off this piston, which pushes this observer in front of this one, which creates a clock, because if you didn't know, if you've got two observers facing each other, you get a clock, because placing the one in sets off the other one, and then the other one being set off sets off this one, which sets off this one, which sets off this one, and so on. So, I mean, if you could instantly summon in two facing each other, it probably wouldn't make a clock, but in actual gameplay you are never going to have two instantly created at the same time, so it's fine. So then that powers this block, which powers this. So as long as there are items in here, it keeps firing them. So it's got all of that fit into this space. I am really happy with this thing. It's probably one of the best compacting jobs I've ever done. I'm not saying you couldn't do better, you probably can. But it's not bad. It's really not bad. So if I just head back over here. So that's at the core of this thing. And then we've got a piece of soul sand, which the dropper will push items through. And then a water column, which leads over the top to a hopper and a barrel, which is over here. So that's the item output. And then I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could get more items out of this using looting, which means turning the lava off and killing them manually. So first of all, you need to get down there, and this seemed like a reasonable place for it, which is why we've got these stairs here so that you can see through into the chamber. I mean, you have to stand on the redstone for this, but I don't mind that. But then you also need to disable the lava, and the way that works is this goes through here, down here, that opens the trapdoor, this powers that, which powers this piston, keeping it up, which disables this circuit, which disables the lava. Simple enough. So if I flip the switch, you can see that piston will stay up, water goes out, water comes in, everything else still fires, lava doesn't. Perfect. However, I don't like this. This thing's 5 wide, and it's centred on the killing chamber. That's wonderful. I like that. This thing sticks out 2 blocks to the side. I don't want that. So I'm thinking, can I rearrange this? And I reckon I can. You still need to power this piston. The only way I'm going to get power into it, if I power a dot of redstone here, it'll also keep that clock going all the time, so I don't want that. So the only way to do this is going to be to make that into a block. Power that block? No. If I power the block, it'll power the redstone on top of it, right? I can always go underneath. I don't have to keep this thing flat. Like, I've done the compacting work. I don't have to keep showing off, but I want to. I was about to say I could power this block, and I think that would keep the piston extended, but then it'll also power that piston, which is no use. It doesn't matter that much, I guess. If I power this from the side, it really doesn't matter that much. Because what I can do is I can put the lever here. I wonder if glass can go downwards. Because now you can put redstone on glass. I know it can go upwards. I'm going to say no. Yeah, thought so. I would have been very surprised if that worked downwards. I don't know that I want that there, though. Like, next to the ladder. I mean, I'm already working exposed redstone down here, I suppose, so it doesn't matter that much. And just stick a block there. So that should... yeah. So that works, and it's an extra block off to the side down here to put the surface if I just like build a frame around this thing. So where there'll be a building, the building will still only be 5 blocks wide. The wall will of course be there. So we end up with something like that, which I think is absolutely fine. This wall could even pull in one more. I mean, this wall could pull in as well, and then the door will be like right next to the trapdoor, which I'm not entirely sure about. Can you put a door on top of the trapdoor? I doubt it. Yeah, you can't. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'll go with that. That'll do. Well, the alternative would just be a staircase, so rather than a redstone block. I mean, this will use up, that will use up 9 and a piston. This is 1, 2. So it's much cheaper on the redstone. No moving parts. Yeah, that'd do. So I'm going to go ahead and find a spot to build this on the server. Wow, I've really just spent 10 minutes on a piece of redstone, huh? So I picked this spot here. It fits fairly nicely. It's just sort of slightly behind the house. I can extend the path over here to get to it. This block's temporary. I'll replace that with the outer wall when I build the outer wall. So I fit it into a 7x7. It's very snug. Well, actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. Some of it's hollow directly underneath the outer wall, but that's fine. In fact, none of it will actually be hollowed directly underneath by the time I'm finished, because the next thing I'll do is put a layer of slabs just over this whole thing, just so it's clean. But I haven't put the buckets in yet. Let's just do a test run. So let's simulate the water going in, and then the water coming out. Sounds right. We hear 2 clicks down there, and then we hear that fire because the torch landed in there. That looks good. Looks like it's fine. I made a slight adjustment here. This is now up on the wall. That goes down there, and that leads into there, and it's 2 torches, because why not? That means I don't need a block to... It doesn't matter that much. It's just a small change. So now, it should... I'm not sure about this. I feel like the cows might be able to sneak up there, and then there'll be trouble. Yeah, because when I tested this, I didn't test it with any baby cows. I just stuck mushrooms in there, and okay. I'm like, do I want to take these out? Because I don't need any of this to be closed off, because I'm not interested in hiding the redstone when you're down here. I'm fine with it all being visible. You know what? Let's move that torch to there, and stick a slab there, so I can stand there, because that's a bit nicer to aim. In fact, you know what? Let's just slab that as well. How's the light here? Not that it needs to be lit up for mob purposes, because only this corner is in the ocean, but yeah, let's go with that. I'm just going to sort of be aesthetic with the redstone here. Just kind of, like that. Okay, let's do the slabs across the top, and then put the buckets in and do a proper test run of this thing. Not a full test run with cows in yet, because I haven't got the cows in yet, but you know what I mean. So just get a nice, clean floor over this whole thing. The edges will actually be covered up, but that doesn't matter. Speaking of nice and clean, this I built. It's just, you know, white concrete inside. I put a bit of bamboo for decoration. It looks really nice. Just a very simple thing. Logs on the ceiling, standard sort of thing for the edge of the roof. Brown glass across here. This is all stone brick in here now. That didn't take too long actually. Got some sea lanterns down there because that area is ocean and I got a creeper, so I was like, not having that. And I started to build something over this. But that's nice. I'm not too keen on this back wall, but there's not a lot I can do with it because there's redstone hidden behind there. Let's do a quick test run of this. It helps if you put the buckets in. Nothing there, and then that. Perfect. This is ready for the cows to go in. Well, actually, no, I still need to build up the item return, the delivery, the barrel here, hopper, water, yeah. I'll do that, and then I'll get the cows in, and then we'll give it a go. Just got a few stray mushrooms to get in here. Let's gather these up. Wait, come over here, come on. Come on. I've got 64 mushrooms in total. I counted the ones I had and then have bred a few extra to top it up. Let's just get these in. In. No. No. Bad cow. Bad cow. Get in there. Go on. In. In. Okay. That should be all of them. I don't think there are any more stray ones. Really? Just leave me alone. I know I haven't slept for 108 hours, but that's not the point. There's no reason to attack me just because you attack me. That's like your raison d'etre. That's not the point. Stop it. Go and harass someone else. There's no one else online, but don't tell them that. They can go looking. That's the joke. Okay. As soon as those guys are in, that should be all of them. I've got an El Mango 114 nano farm here. Just a ghetto one. I'll tear it down, rebuild it, and put a proper shell on it later. I just needed wheat because I basically didn't have any. And I need loads for this. I mean, first of all, I needed some in order to get enough mushrooms. And then I also need loads to use once this thing's running, which it will be momentarily. Where's that phantom? I can hear it. Well, I can't hear it, but I've got the subtitle telling me it's flapping. I am full. Okay. Oh, it's over here. Are we all done? Everyone in? I'm gradually cleaning up, because I cleaned up the cactuses, vines and stuff I had over here. And this is all going as well. I mean, this has been here for a long time. I put this up basically when I first came to the island and rounded up all the mushrooms. Well, rounded up some and then killed the rest. Would be more accurate, but it's nice to have that finally cleared. Okay, that's everything cleaned up. So here we go, this is what it looks like. I've gone with a similar door frame to over on the chorus farm. I've done 2 high windows. I was going to do 3 high, but then I thought, actually no, 2 high looks a bit nicer, I think. I was originally going to hide all of this behind walls, especially the hopper, but I changed my mind because it looks fine exposed. So I've just done a simple little bit of flooring here just to make it look nice. Okay, let's put these back in place. So that goes there, you go there, you go there. Right, this reminder. So I've got 64 mushrooms in there, let's just have a look. 64, 85, and 64, 64, 64. I think we're pretty secure on this. We have 64 in there. Good. Right. So there are 64 in there. Entity cramming on the server is set to 75. So if I breed more than 10 mushrooms in there, some of the babies might pop out the bottom of their own accord, but there's a very high chance they won't, and they'll start to entity cram and die. Obviously I don't want that. So this reminder is to breed in batches of 16, so for every stack of wheat, which is going to be 1 full breeding session because there's 64 in there, do it in batches of 16. So do 16, so you get 8 babies. That's below the cramming limit. Press the button again, let them get pushed out. Press the button again, do another 16, do another 16, do another 16. That way we'll get 32 babies out of it without killing anything. Obviously this chest is for wheat. So I will do a breeding session. Actually I can do one now, can't I? Because they've grown up and then it's also been plenty of time since I last bred them. I did not do 16. I heard cramming. That's better. Okay, let's break this into 3. Wow, this just doesn't really work very well, does it? Because they're all sort of occupying the same spot when they should be, like, spreading out into a ring, so to speak. I mean, it doesn't matter that much if it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be at the end of the day. Good grief, come on. Oh, I found the sweet spot. I think I found the sweet spot. And finally, just kind of there. Yeah, that works. 11, 10, 9, 8. It's good enough. Come on. Come on. 6. So the trouble is, the more of them you've actually given wheat to, the fewer of them are prepared to take it, so it's like, it slows down drastically. But that's always been a thing with these. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on, there's just two mushrooms left in there that haven't had wheat yet. Come on. You're in there somewhere. Okay, well anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if I now come down here, we should have 31. But of course, there are way too many entities for me to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a mystery. Okay? So, I finally managed to use the last 2 pieces of wheat. So I used an entire stack of wheat, which means every mushroom was bred. This is fine. So, up here, I'm going to show you something interesting. So if I go execute, if entity type mushroom distance up to 3 meters, should hit just the top chamber and tell me that my original 64 mushrooms are all still there. That's fine. And if we go down here and do it, so we get the lower chamber, actually now it's getting both chambers, just the lower chamber please, 36. So 64, 36, total 100. Fine. Except if you breed 64 mushrooms, you should only have 32 babies. There is no trickery here, I have not done extra breeding off camera, I used up 1 stack of wheat and got 4 extra babies. I have no idea how that's happened. I'm not complaining about free babies, but I have no idea how that's happened. And originally, that's where I ended this episode. I was planning to do an XP furnace setup as well, but this took longer than I thought. But I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to show you some of what I've been up to between finishing recording that and editing the video now. Where are you? There you are. Anything good, he says, knowing the answer will be no. Actually, blue ice isn't bad. 6 emeralds? How many emeralds have I got? I mean, how much blue ice have I got? Is this going to be worth it? Oh, it's meh. Wait, stop spitting. It's rude. Stop. They just don't pay attention, do they? They just won't learn I've got a sign, and they are not listening. No. Listening. No. Salesman. There's a couple of llamas over here left over as well. So there's been another one at some point. Maybe I'll just keep those guys. I don't know. So this is what I've done. Well, this hasn't changed. I do need to change this redstone a bit because you can see through there. So I might move the lever over there and I'll figure something out. But obviously there needs to be a block there because you can see through that when I put the path in. So that needs changing. This is the nano farm. So the actual build is just there. I've got a thing for bone meal here that goes into hoppers that go all the way around. And then any excess just drops off the top and lands on me here. Got a barrel there to put stuff in. And then over here, I've got a little composter set up so I can chuck extra seeds and things in there. They'll go into composters and give me bone meal in that barrel. And then I've just done some decoration on this build. Nothing too amazing. It's a slightly different shape, which is, you know, nice. I've done this over here. Hello, phantoms. Ah, 4 of you. Phantoms definitely seem to have changed. I'm sure they don't do as much damage, and they don't circle anymore. When they swoop at you and then go back up, they then swoop again immediately. They don't circle. I've done a bit of decoration on here. It's alright. And I've built this. The curve isn't quite as nice as I'd like, but it's not bad. I put stairs and stuff over this, and I think it looks really bad. So I've gone back to just having blocks. The line of birch across the top might stay, maybe. Probably won't. I mean, this is all... Actually, is it? I checked this. There's a bit of this that is ocean. And I think it's on the glass. So we're good. Yeah, it's on the glass. That's on the glass. Oh, this one here, but it's adequately lit. Yeah, so we're good. I can take all the stairs and stuff off. I thought it might look better. It doesn't, really. But that's all in there. I used scaffolding for the first time to build this. Scaffolding's pretty great. I like scaffolding, so I'm carrying a stack of scaffolding around with me everywhere I go now. The other thing I did is getting a couple of villagers from a relatively nearby village. Made sure I picked up 2 that were new type villagers. It's quite odd actually, that village, because it's obviously been partially loaded, but not completely loaded. It's odd. But I've got 2 villagers in here, and while I was exploring and getting villagers and stuff, I found some treasure chests. I found some other weird stuff, which I'll just show you here. We've got a totally illegal bit of world gen, and then we've got a strange lighting error on a chunk. But then while I was exploring, I found various treasures. So this is all the stuff I got. It's pretty great. Anyway, project for next episode. Either the furnace thing, or I might start looking at villagers, because I've been meaning to do villagers here for a while. But that's going to be it for this episode. If you've enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, share, favourite and comment, help support the channel. Follow me on Twitter to stay up to date what's going on, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.